I want to welcome you to the 13th annual Vermont Trout Camp for Teens. We've been coming up here to Quimby's the past several years. We started here back in 2011 and continuing the history with Quimby's as Vermont's original sporting lodge. Put together a pretty jam-packed curriculum. So obviously we teach them things about how to cast a fly, how to read moving water, how to fish different, using different techniques. But we've really built a much more complete curriculum. We have conservation work that the kids participate in with the Vermont River Conservancy and Trout Unlimited. We do a section on stream geomorphology to show kids how streams move and how they're dynamic and how humans interact with their watersheds and why it's important to protect riparian areas. And we also do an in-depth entomology section with Tom Ames, where we show the kids the types of insects that are in the water and why they're in certain places and why having good oxygen and water quality is important for the fisheries and the aquatic habitat. So we put together. We also do a section with Fish and Wildlife. We electrofish a small brook to show them what kind of fish assemblages are in these tiny little brooks that we all have basically in our backyards and all over Vermont. So we put together a great curriculum that introduces them not only to different aspects of science and conservation, but also individuals, so that they know as they're getting older into high school and college, there's ways to marry their interests in the outdoors and fishing with a possible career.
I'm pretty sure my mom found it on Facebook or something. My grandpa got recommended by a friend and he wanted me to try it out and get into fly fishing.
Actually, I think my dad found it through a recommendation of a friend, so yeah.
From my mom. Yeah. I don't know how she found out about it.
I think my mom found it out from one of her friends, and she thought it would be something I would like and enjoy.
I heard about this camp through friends, family, and a local fly shop owner. Frank Garrett told me about it at the beginning of last year at school, and I was like, that sounds interesting, maybe I should sign up for it.
Well, a friend kind of discovered it online and then recommended it to me, and I thought it sounded fun, and so I signed up.
from yourself 2 or 3 wraps and go back through the hole just like we did with the no-name knot. And then you're going to switch hands and wrap the other color line going in the other direction. And whichever way you came through the first time, you're going to go through the opposite way the second time. This is called the blood knot. In 2 directions, and tighten up the lines. And you end up with a really snug connection. And if you do it right, you'll have the line, one line coming out one way and the other line coming out the other way. Sometimes with the improved clinch knot, I would get a crinkle in my line.
That's what allows insects to rest upon the water at that surface tension. And it also makes it a little bit difficult for them to break through. So you have these moments when they're really vulnerable to fish. So by and large, that's what we're looking at. What I want to do tonight is give you a rough idea of what the different kinds of insects look like, and understand that they, even insects that kind of look alike, may behave very differently for a variety of reasons. Here's a spinner call. This is a back call. These are all 6 reverse. So you get an idea of what a mayfly spinner call is. So this is in the evening, as they're flying into a cloud, and the males are about to enter the cloud, and then the lay eggs, and they're brook trout all over here, just popping up, eating the bugs.
And they call them spinners because their wings flop out at the side and they spin, you know, like a
falling helicopter.
Yeah.
Even when there's only one of you. There's always a crease someplace.
Start slow. I don't go as fast as I can. I start slow and accelerate. So start slow, and then the last part of that is finish fast. Hard stop. Notice again, I didn't do this. I went in a straight line and I stopped hard.
Not so far back with your rod. You don't need to go that far. That's it. Stop and go.
That's better. That's much better. Look at that.
What's the backwards? Why are you doing it backwards?
Yeah, I was helping him get to add some wrist isolation so he focuses on the back cast.
Oh, right.
There you go.
Both back and forward.
So you feel like big half
right.
Hard to feel the rock on rocks. Just really get a sense of what that stuff does.
Haven't found what I'm looking for, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I have kissed my honey's lips, felt the heat, fingertips burning like fire. It's burning desire. I have spoken with her with the top of the angel. I have held and never. It was warm with the night. It was cold as a stone, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I believe in the kingdom come, and all the colors in blend into one, blend into one. You know I'm still running from the morning, even the day. Carry the cross, girl, of my shame, of my shame, of my shame, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
One of the tests of vice adjustment is that you put the hook in, and you go like that, you can hear it twang. And if it doesn't do that, then probably the jaws of the vice need to be a little bit tighter. Okay, so here's my tail. I want a tail that's basically one shank long. So I'm using from the eye to the bend as a ruler. I'm taking my tail and I'm holding it up on top of the shank and I'm saying, yeah, that looks to be about a shank long, okay? I'm now going to hold it at the point where I'm going to tie in at the end of the shank. Now I need to finish the head of the fly. So there's two ways you can do it. You can use a whip finisher. I don't think I'm going to go there tonight because it takes quite a bit of time. So this is a bodkin. You all have a bodkin. If you have a metal one, there should be a hole on the bottom. If you don't, here are two half-hitch tools or something. So I'm going to finish this fly with half hitches. So what's going to happen is that the hole in the bobbin is going to slide over the eye of the hook, and the thread's going to slide off of the bodkin onto the head. So I'm going to do 2 wraps. I'm going to position the bodkin so that it's up against the eye, and I'm going to pull. So that's 1 half hitch. I'm going to do maybe 3 sets. So there's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. So that's the quickest, easiest way to finish your head is with a half hitch, okay? So, the next thing I always do is I take my fly and I check it. I might want to do some trimming, cleaning up, whatever. There's my finished hairs here without a bead. Okay, so you're going to do it.
Roll the wire really easily because it's set up like this. Okay, I can play chess.
So water velocity is really important because the water velocity will dictate whether it's going to scour away your sediment, whether it's going to deposit sediment and bury your stream bed. It will dictate whether it will sweep you off your feet.
Yeah.
huge hole, and then you're like, wait a minute, I've only got this little tiny.
Yeah, salmon, isn't it? Yeah. Big smile. Okay. Let him go, he wants to go. Oh, that's a little brookie on it. Good.
Oh, brother, that's a great fish. Well done. Okay, release it.
Expected to do a lot of fishing, but I didn't expect to do a deep dive into like entomology and the fly fishing and also the electrofishing, which I think we're all really need additional surprises that I really enjoyed. So
Best part of the camp?
I think the trophy stretch for sure. I really enjoyed that part. I caught 5 fish, so it was quite enjoyable. Yeah.
And what will you take away?
My main takeaway, not just like just learning about fly fishing and like how to cast and everything, but also like the importance of like environmental conservation, especially with the hydraulics lesson that we did I think on Tuesday. So yeah.
I was looking forward to getting better in the skill of fly fishing and enjoying the rivers and streams.
And what do you think you got out of the camp?
I think I got the skills of fly fishing and the enjoyment of landing fish with a fly and releasing them.
Best part of the camp?
Probably when I caught my brookie yesterday. That was really fun.
Expected to do like stuff on entomology and being in the river, like with wading and safe wading.
And what was the best part of the camp for you?
The best part of the camp was definitely going to the trophy stretch. There's a lot of great fish there.
Okay, and what will you take away?
Really, I think what I'll take away is really appreciating the rivers and appreciating the fish by, like, you know, using barbless hooks and making sure they can still live after you catch them.
It's gonna be like normal camp where you had like bad food and uncomfortable beds and stuff, but it was way better.
What was the highlight of the camp for you?
Probably getting to fish a lot and catching some big fish.
And what will you take away from the camp?
My knowledge with fly fishing, because before this I had no idea how to fly fish, but now I know how to fly fish.
Expectations were to come, learn a lot, and catch a lot of fish.
And what did you learn?
Learned a lot about fly casting, a lot about fly tying, and caught a lot of fish.
Okay. Best part of the camp?
Best part of the camp was good food, good bedding. The atmosphere around here is great.
Okay. What about the electrofishing?
The electrofishing was very cool. It was fun to net the fish, and it was very interesting.
Okay. What sort of species did you see?
We saw rainbow trout, rainbow trout, brook trout, rockfish, and yeah.
What was your best fish you caught?
The best fish I've caught was about a 12-inch brook trout.
I don't know, you're coming up to northern Vermont for like a week and exploring around fisheries and stuff.
And what have you learned from the camp?
I learned a lot about like everything, like conservation, a lot more about fly fishing,
What about the bugs?
Oh yeah, the bugs. Like, we learned about that for like a whole night. It was actually kind of interesting.
Okay.
All like different mayflies and stuff.
Best part of the camp?
When we went to the trophy stretch up in northern New Hampshire.
Biggest fish?
Probably like a 12, 13-inch brook trout.
Okay. How many species did you catch?
One.
Oh. You'd recommend the camp to others?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought it would be a lot more like out on the water, like fishing, but it was still a pretty good amount of fishing. A lot of like classroom work to like obviously learn about flies and all that kind of stuff, which is needed. So it wasn't exactly what I expected, but it was still pretty fun.
Best part of the camp for you?
The trophy stretch, Connecticut River.
And what was it like with the tug?
That was pretty fun.
The tug's the drug, hey?
Yeah.
And what will you take away from the camp?
I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways to fish.
Alright, man, give a smile. Great fish. Yeah, you know, baby. Nice, Sam.